Moving on, what else do we have over here? Let's see. Let's go back into the store. Let's move ahead and check one more application, another KPI related thing, probably a dual KPI, a very nice way in which we are tracking two values in single place, and it's been developed by Microsoft Corporation. And if we go and try to get this, it would take its own process. The advantage of using marketplace is kind of exploratory analysis of new visualizations which have been deployed on the store, and also have a hang of how to use that KPI. A very good learning material, and this can go on and on and on as many visualizations there are in the system. But you can trust the Microsoft's way of standardizing the marketplace, in which you would always find hints and to access the new visualization and the sample report. Always have a look at the sample report. This will help you understand the usage and find a right fit to your data set, because every visualization may not fit your data set to give the right output. So good way of increasing your knowledge on third party built visualization would be coming to the marketplace and always having a look at the samples available over here. Let the sample load. So see, this is what it looks like. Value set 1 and value set 2. What does it have? If I click on it, it has the date axis in from left to right. It is common to both the different variables. There is a value set 1 and value set 2. If we see, these two are summation values which are available under the table of sample percent calculation. What does it have? Let's have a look at the data source. So value set 1 has certain values and value set 2 has another set of values. So these are numeric values associated to every day. It can be a sales and the cost, it can be profits and the revenue, it can be your income versus outgo. So all these values are set over here and on a day on day basis as per this example. And value set percentage is also given, that what is the value set percentage. Basis this, if you want to make a chart, what you would do is you would map the date to make it a x-axis of the sample. You would take the columns of value set 1 and value set 2, ensuring that both of these columns do have dates. So in this example, since we are referring a single table and every row has a date and value set and 1 and 2, this makes it possible to make this chart, right? What properties does it have? Dual KPI properties. Show the top chart, yes or no? Do you want to see one or two? So, or both. So this setting of selecting 1 and 2 is available over here. Also, what is the variance between the last date, previous date? You can set basis which the changes would be reflected. We can select this. We can go into the properties. So remember, there are three sections of the property. One is a field which is mapped to the visual, and then there are properties of the visual in itself, and these are analytics on the top of it. So most likely you would be placing the fields from your data source into the visuals by using this section, and then you would be adding attributes to the visual, as in the axis, the color, the scroll, the timeline, the boldness, and placement type kind of thing over this second central format column, right? If we expand it further, show bottom chart KPI on top of it, yes, no. If yes, you can do it over here. Dual KPI value, dual KPI property. Do you want to see the bottom chart? Yes, no. Abbreviation of the values. Would you like it or not like it? Abbreviate or hover values. Then it gives you the change, and this is what. Then it is here. Short KPI tooltip. This is the short KPI tooltip. This is based on the previous date. Previous date is this. First date is this. Last date is this. Okay. Dual KPI title. Do you want to have a title to the top of it? What font would you like to have it? I would like to see Arial Black. So this is the titling which is present over here. Dual cap value formatting. Do you want to format the value or no? It is set to on. Axis setting. Chart type. Is it an area chart or a line chart? You can select based on your preference. So in this covers an in-depth example of how to use this KPI, dual KPI visual. In this case, they have made one as a line and one as this. So if I have to change this to something else, I would directly go, I would select it, I would go into its properties. Because I've studied the previous sheet, I would know where do I need to make the changes. Chart colors are fine, chart colors are fine. Axis settings is what I wanted to know. KPI chart type, I don't want chart, I want this as an area as well. So this is what will, this is how you would basically learn to use new and new visuals basis a isolated understanding of the visuals in itself and then going back to your desktop and making it. So this is a very good way of learning it. Moving on, what all things do we have today? What new things? So we saw the KPI related category and more or less all KPIs would work in the similar fashion. Now let's see what all different visuals are available under time. So based on time, we can have a look at Beyond Soft calendar. This seems a very exciting calendar and a time slicer. So let's have a look at these two. Is there anything else? Countdown timer continuously counts to specific date. It's okay. Animated bar chart, Gantt chart. Amongst this, the most exciting ones are the calendar, a different way of viewing a calendar, which has never come over here. Visualize your monthly data, assign custom colors with dynamic data driven visual. Very exciting. Let's just see how is it going to help us. In this case, let's see the sample report. An isolated understanding of the visual, and after this we can take a call if we need to import it into a desktop or no. Let's open it. It's opening. It's opening. Yes, it's going to open now. Yes, there we are. Now let's see what does it have to offer us. Looking at the data set, there is a date dimension over here. Let's have a look at the date dimension. So if I see this table, they've added a dimension as in date, complete date, date as an integer, date as an year, month and year. So these are different permutation and combination of a date which you can ever see. A very good way of learning how to make this dimension and using it into your system as well. Moving on. So basis this, you can call on any column which is like a combination of different formats, days of the week, quarter year, all the possibilities what you can have on date field is given as columns. That is known as dimension. Very fairly and using that we have a fact table which uses a date and has a value and a percentage. So these are your transactional tables which uses different dimensions of the date table. In this it uses plain dates. Using this, if I have to make a chart, what they have done is they have deployed a normal slicer which is a Microsoft visualization in which they have used the date dimension year and month short. We can change the format, there is no issue as in what we need to use. We can also have quarter, we can have a day of the week, date as an integer, year, month, and we can also have only plain date. There is no issue in doing that. Great. So basis this, we can change the dimension related field, right? And then we can move on to this column. it shows whatever dates which you have selected from 19th 1 2017, and then going on all the way to different pages as well. Great. And then we have the values on top of it. So if we see, it shows a date, it shows a value, and it shows a tooltip will have an additional info, value plus average of a percentage. If I have to move ahead, let's move ahead. It has again a month, year, date, start, and month on month. Why is this made in this format is, if I make this as a basic usage as date, since this visualization is limited to kind of a month view, you can't basically change the month based on clicking anywhere on this visualization. So the format what we chosen over here is not right. We need to say month with day. So day, weeks, no, that's okay. Day of the week, year, month, number. So this is something which can help. Yes. Basis this, you can have a month view and you can view. So again, we understood the scope of the visual and what are the limitations of the visual, what kind of dimension date can be used or in this visual and which are not supported. A good learning mechanism of new. Now let's see how to make changes. Diverging colors. So again, if you click on it, by my earlier knowledge, you click on it, you go in its properties, you go into data colors, you can have a gradient diverging on minimum color, center color, maximum color. Basis this and basis any value, you can decide on the colors as well. Selection interaction. If there are interaction against this, and you have to have different kinds of interaction, you can as well have that interaction over here. Select one or more in the calendar. So keeping control button press on your keyboard, you can have collated view of this visualization as well. Again, a very important hints section. Please keep an eye on this field when you are doing your sample understanding. And with this, we can understand the third party visual in depth. And with that, we can make use it in our system as well.